Alright guys, welcome to another trade review or road to 10k top step or road to 10k prop firm payout. I can't even pronounce my own title. Alright, I changed it from top step because I was like, well, I ain't gonna be sticking with top step forever. I don't think. I want to branch out to other firms. But yeah, today we are at about a minus 400 loss if I do eyeball it. So we're up 300 on one account, down 133 on another, down 130 on another, so that cancels out. Down 130 on another, so now negative 130, and then negative 300, that's negative 450. So yeah, we're down negative 450 on the day with all accounts combined. And we're going to do a very intensive trade review today because yeah, there are two trades that could have had me pay on this account. Like, I sized heavy. I knew it was coming. Like, this trade was going to work. But yeah, unfortunately, I low-key messed up the execution of it. So here we go. All right, I've already have all the zones and stuff, my annotations, so I remember it all. Walk you guys through what I was thinking. So let's replay it from open. Okay, so replaying it from open. Okay, yeah. So this is gonna look really messy, but I promise you it's gonna make sense. So, all right. So I had this 30-minute demand zone marked, and this demand zone was responsible for this move up here, right? And technically, it looks like it didn't get used, but if you used a wider variation of it, this zone should not have been extended. And to be fair, it shouldn't have been extended because, given the context of this move, we just broke all-time highs again. Price is using all that it has to move on this move up, right? And this is a very weak move up. I would not be surprised if a big down move happened sometime in the future. Mark my words, all right? But yeah, using the wide variation, it should not have been extended. But because I extended this, you guys are going to see where it really messed up my bias, all right? So, yeah, we want to start by marking fair value. Fair value is somewhere in here because this is the overnight auction, right? So then we want to drop time frames. And yeah, I mean, on the high time frame, you know that price is bullish, so you're going to stay bullish until these zones stop working, right? So in the overnight, they have not stopped working yet, but after you pierce all-time highs, it's like either you trade longs and risk that the zone that you're using might be the one that fails, or from what I've noticed is you can wait for all the demand zones to get flipped, but that takes a long time, and if you're an intraday trader, somebody get impatient or whatever, right? But anyways, so yeah, look at the 15-minute. There's nothing like this leg. There should be no imbalances. There is no big candle that kind of signals to me that, oh, there could be a zone besides this one right here. This one, look, rally, base, rally, rally. Structure of it looks good. In the overall price point, it is not a good zone because most of the trading volume has happened down here. But in the present, it should offer some sort of lift, right? So drop time frames again, 5-minute. No supply zones up here, so I honestly should expect that price is going to break this high again, right? So, all right, so let's move up, okay? 5-minute, and I believe, yeah, I had no trades up until 9-ish, all right? Okay, so 5-minute demand right here. And this is yeah, this is another zone right here. This is a pivot point, is what Sam Seedon calls it. and then you have another rally base rally formation. So this zone is like a level on level on level, and yeah, so you just got one wide zone. So yeah, drop base rally, base rally, base rally, right? So far, looks good. Like, this is a large 5-minute demand zone, and the thing is, it's like we retested it fast, but I didn't see any supply, any quality supply print besides maybe this island zone right here. But you honestly shouldn't expect. Oh wait, actually, here we go. This right here is a 5-minute supply zone here. 5-minute. I didn't have that marked because, again, I thought it was still a trend day up, so I didn't think to have this marked. All right, realistically, I should have, but anyways, drop to the 1 minute. All right, so now you guys can see where I took my trades at. So I took one trade right here because I saw this as a demand zone. And I was a little bit premature because I had a limit entry right here, 847. I had a very tight stop. And that was honestly the bigger problem. I had a very tight stop. Had I done like 25, I would have been fine. Or at this point right here, at this point, maybe I wouldn't have gotten filled on the stop out. But anyways, I had a very tight stop. But this 1 minute zone did end up working. I'm going to change the screen real quick. So, yeah, this 1 minute zone did end up working. And I thought that this 1 minute zone inside the 5 minute zone was the trade. And on my main XFA, I had a tight stop, so I got stopped out. But on my other XFA, I had a wider stop, and it ended up hitting target around here. Like, I was able to get trims off. So that trade was okay, all right. But the fact that it didn't break this high was my first sign that bulls are losing steam. They are not going to push us all the way to all-time highs again. Now it's time to look for shorts, right? So after this 1 minute zone got filled, there's no supply zones that printed by my rules, except I guess technically this right here counts as a 1 minute zone. So you guys and the problem is, it's like when you're looking at these lower time frames, it's so hard to tell whether some of these zones are good or not because there's just so many that pop up. But yeah, I mean, this one's kind of 50-50. I wasn't sure yet because look, 1 minute versus 5 minute, and the thing is, these lower time frame zones can work when you're opposing them at a with the right context. So this 5 minute zone was very crucial in sustaining trend, but because it didn't sustain trend, as you're going to see later on in the day, it is this is the zone that like does the work here. All right, so you're going to see, and this was another 1 minute demand zone that I took a trade off of, and initially it worked, right? You gained 20 points, but the thing was, I was still under the impression that this is going to all-time highs, and yeah, I thought it would like at least hit here or here, but if you zoom out, look at where it is relative to this big move up. This big move up, this is where fair value is, right? This is where the 1 minute demand zone is. It's in the middle. This was a novice trade because I took a trade where a high amount of volume was and there was unlikely to be an imbalance there. But okay, I marked this as a 1 minute supply zone. Oh yeah, because it is a 1 minute supply zone. Okay, all right, so we continue. And yeah, at this point, like, this 5 minute zone is going to fail, right? Boom, it failed. Like, when price spent this much time in here, and you want to look at it in the 5 minute chart, yeah, I mean, we get a close below the distal. There's nothing to help it. But initially, I was still bullish after this, and this was where I went wrong. After a big move like this, with new supply printing on the way down, that was my sign. Okay, we are now bearish, and I had this marked as a 5 minute supply zone, not a 1 minute, but I had the wider variation of it all the way over here because these two candles are the same size, and I don't think this is actually a drop candle. And it had a 1 minute zone, so that was like another layer of protection, if that makes sense. And that's going to make sense later here when I took a short trade here. So, yeah. This was my sign right on this leg. We were bearish. Like, all of this lift right here, it was done. Like, bulls are done for now. They have no steam left. But because I had the shorter version of the zone, I thought it was still valid. I kept it all the way here, right? Drop to the 1 minute. You're going to see why I kept it on there and why I didn't think that price was going to keep on going down. Boom. 1 minute demand zone formed right there. This was a mistake. Should not have been marked, because had it not been marked, I would have had this trade idea. Boom. Boom. You guys see that? Or actually, it would technically be all the way over here, because this would not have existed either. But because I had this existing, I thought it was a 30-minute zone, creating a 1 minute zone. So I thought new buyers are stepping up right here. Because new buyers didn't actually step up there, I ended up waiting to take a trade. But look, if we have this demand zone still marked, let's say I did have that read, I still could have made money on that short. Alright, so let's play it how I should have had I kept this idea where I thought, oh, price is going to compress. Like, I thought it was going to do this. Like, it was just going to balance out in the middle here because there's two zones right next to it, right? Look, zone still holds. 1 minute zone especially still holds. And then we get a sign that there is an FEG there. Oops. I got too many FEGs. The 1 minute FEG forms, rejects. Boom. That was another short entry right there. The stop would have had been wide, but had I not had that 30-minute zone marked, I would have been able to still get a 100-something point trade, right? If I actually held to that point, but that's a completely different conversation. And that is where, I tried setting up a short position here, but I psyched myself out, and I ended up stopping myself out when I should have just kept the stop. And look what happens. Or wait, no. I don't think I actually ever took a position here. I think I was still waiting. But I did miss the opportunity. And look, 1 minute demand zone. It fakes you out. Makes you think, oh, there's going to be buyers. Look, novice trade idea again. Makes people think that there's buyers here. Stops them out. And ultimately, that is where they really make their move. And look, had I kept the 1 minute idea, boom. That FEG invalidates this 1 minute demand zone. Because had this 30-minute, given the context, we had 5 minute to one, obviously 5 minute is going to beat this 1 minute. So no matter what, no matter how wide this zone is, whether I kept it to down here at the low, the swing low, does not matter, because 5 minute beats 1 minute, and look at where it is relative to fair value. In this move up, it is still on the lower end of fair value, right? The best zones are the ones down here. All right, let's get back to reviewing. So price then moves down, and again, this was a short entry. If I didn't get this one, which is the correct read, I should have got this one. All right, and then again, realistically, this should have been done right here. Zone ended somewhere around there. Point is, there is no demand after this. So when price went back into this 5 minute supply zone, that was the real trade. That was the real trade short, right? And today it was whippy enough where it gave you 2 real trade opportunities, right? It goes from higher end to fair value to lower end to fair value. Watch, okay? So, yeah, realistically, should not have had this 1 minute demand marked. If I didn't have it marked, look how clean this chart looks. Boom. All you can see are short opportunities. You could have kept on adding in, could have kept on going short, right? Boom. The safe play, this 50-minute zone. But what actually ended up happening was that this 5 minute zone is what got tested, and it managed to save this 15-minute demand zone because it was resting at the distal. But look what happens. Yep, price ends up touching this 5 minute demand zone at the distal. I actually took a trade, but I had a very tight stop. Boom, stopped out. Like, yeah, I mean, this was where my entry was. I didn't trust it, so I moved my stop. I was too scared to risk 20 points, or at least like either to this bottom or this wick, or very safe as this one. But again, I'm on an XFA, so I'm playing very conservatively. Boom, missed a 80-point trade, and yeah, I mean, it was sad. And then this 1 minute demand zone really confirmed my bull bias, because now I'm really thinking, oh yeah, don't forget the 1 minute FEG here too. And I know a lot of people are gonna say, oh dude, you're on too low of a time frame, it's getting messy. And the truth is, yeah, no, I mean, if I was trading on personal where I could swing my trades, boom, simple, just like that, 150, boom, that's really what I would do. 1 in 3R, get the zone, get the distal, that's my trade. Like, I wouldn't be doing this shit where I have to, like, fucking be a sniper on the, like, track. Like, this is so much harder than just, like, boom, limit entry, this is it, right? But working what we got, so I don't want to hear this fucking, oh, dude, you're on too low of a time frame. Because sometimes it's like, yeah, no, you're completely right. The higher time frame does make it easy, but at the same time, given the rules I have to play with, I do have to take the harder route, unfortunately. But yeah, that should have been the real trade. Or if I wanted to wait for more confirmation, I wait for demand to print. But also, I was just really confident in this zone because of how good location it is. Sorry. Look, compared to, like, this is fair value. This is where it lies. This is a good zone. Supply was up here, and there was no other supply that printed on the way down. Let's go to the 5 minute. Boom. Look how slow and choppy that move is. Like, it's clear that there was no clear imbalance in price as it was going down. So, as a result, price ended up lifting again. This 1 minute demand zone printed, and unfortunately, stop was too tight again. 1 minute supply zone prints, but look at where is it coming from? It is not coming from anything. This 5 minute zone is already done because now this new 5 minute demand zone is now the one in control, right? So 1 minute demand prints and 1 minute FEG, boom. I say this is a real short trade, but that was meant for right there. and this was meant for no, this is the real long trade is what I meant. Oops. This was the real long trade. So yeah, I'm gonna screenshot this, clean it up a bit. What? Yeah, I mean, that was just my thought process on all this. Could be wrong, but yeah, 1 and 3, and yeah, price does end up lifting. Would have stopped me out, but look at that, 17-point risk, or no, 22-point risk. This was getting super greedy. I still think we're gonna lift, but ideally you take profit on one of these highs, and it looks like this one, yeah, this one was the main one you should have took profit at, or at least at 1 and 3R, so around 70 points. But yeah, look at that. So kind of sucks, but honestly, saying this out loud is really helping me like visualize the supply and demand equation. And yeah, so that's it for today. I'm honestly probably gonna have a session where I back test and do the exact same thing with other days that I thought should have been really profitable for me. And yeah.